Welcome in, one and all. Welcome to the Binge.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.
This is a little section I like to call The Rant. It's about hustle culture.
Rantcast anthem, daily grind. Thoughts unleashed, no place to hide. Passion storming every mind. Tune in, tune out, tonight we ride.
All right, let's dive the fuck in and really break this shit down. The obsession with hustle culture is not only fucking exhausting, but it's also incredibly damaging to our mental health and the way we view success. Everywhere you look, someone's telling you to rise and grind, sleep is for the weak, or if you're not working, you're wasting time. And it's so fucking ingrained in us now that we internalize these messages and feel guilty whenever we're not hustling. But here's the thing, this culture is deeply flawed and unsustainable as fuck. First of all, hustle culture is built on the assumption that our value as people is tied to how much we produce. It's like society has decided that unless you're constantly pushing yourself, sacrificing your personal life, and staying in a perpetual state of overwork, you're not really contributing enough to the world. And it's fucking nonsense. No one should have to prove their worth by how many hours they put in or how successful they appear to be. That's not what makes us valuable. What makes us valuable is our humanity, our creativity, our kindness, our ability to connect with others, and our mental and physical well-being. Hustle culture completely ignores this shit. Think about it. We've been sold this idea that success looks like working through weekends, staying up late to grind, and constantly measuring ourselves against other people's accomplishments. We're told to look at the people who've made it and try to replicate their lifestyle. But here's the reality check. Just because someone else seems to be doing it doesn't mean it's sustainable or healthy. Everyone has a fucking breaking point, and the pressure to perform at all cost creates a toxic cycle of stress, anxiety, burnout, and frankly, a lot of unhappiness. And let's talk about rest. When did rest become something we feel guilty about? Why is taking a break suddenly seen as lazy or unproductive? Rest is essential, you dumb fucks. It's not about recharging our energy. It's about giving our minds and bodies the space they need to recover, to be creative, to reflect. You know what happens when we ignore rest? We burn the fuck out. We lose focus, we get frustrated, we make mistakes. Yet, we keep pushing ourselves further into exhaustion because we're told we have to. Here's the kicker. Productivity doesn't mean nonstop action. It means working smart, you idiot. It means having boundaries. It means knowing when to stop and take a step back to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes not working is exactly what you need to do in order to come up with your best ideas, to be more present in your personal relationships, or even to gain the mental clarity needed to take your next step. The thing that frustrates me the most about hustle culture is the glorification of stress. Stress is not a fucking badge of honor, yet it's worn like one. It's like we've all been taught that if you're not stressed, you're not doing enough. That somehow being in a constant state of chaos is a symbol of ambition. That's dangerous, you morons. It leads to anxiety, depression, physical health problems, and the breakdown of relationships. It's simply unsustainable. We need to stop pretending that constantly pushing ourselves to the limit is the only path to success. We need to start redefining what success really looks like. Success doesn't have to mean working yourself into the fucking ground. It can mean living a life that feels fulfilling, meaningful, and balanced. It can mean finding time to nurture your relationships, take care of your mental health, and pursue your passions without the constant pressure to do more. I think it's time we start celebrating rest as a part of the process. Start celebrating the moments of pause, the moments of stillness, the time it takes to live rather than hustle through life. We should stop equating worth with output. You are not your fucking productivity. The truth is, we're human. We need breaks. We need time for ourselves. We need to be kind to our minds and bodies. And above all, we need to stop worshiping hustle culture as if it's the only way to be successful. It's not, you dumbasses. Let's rewrite the narrative around what it means to live a fulfilling, balanced life and stop glorifying burnout. The world doesn't need more tired, overworked people. It needs healthy, rested, and thoughtful individuals who know their worth, whether they're hustling or not. And here we are. This segment is the top 10 list. On this week's episode, we explore attitudes.
Top 10 time, it's the thrill of the night. Rankings up high, feeling safe flight. Listening close, get ready to climb. We're counting it down, it's top 10 time.
1. The oblivious optimist. Everything's coming up roses. Even when the roses are clearly dead and covered in aphids, they skip through life completely unaware of impending doom, financial ruin, or the fact that their outfit clashes horribly. Example. Oh, the volcano's erupting? Well, think of all the new real estate being created. 2. The professional over-explainer. Masters of the unnecessarily detailed explanation. They'll explain how to boil water like you're conducting a PhD thesis on hydrodynamics. You ask for the time, they'll give you a historical analysis of horology, complete with footnotes. 3. The sarcastic sage. Delivers every piece of wisdom wrapped in a thick layer of irony. Their advice is technically sound, but comes with so much shade you'll need sunscreen. Here's an example. Yes, quitting your job to become a professional ferret groomer is certainly a sustainable career path. 4. The enthusiastically mediocre. They attack any task with a huge amount of enthusiasm and also fail. They are happy to fail as it provides an opportunity for improvement. They will also say, "Let's get started," a lot. 5. The accidental genius. They stumble upon brilliant ideas completely by accident, usually while trying to do something incredibly stupid. They're like the Homer Simpson of innovation. I accidentally invented a self-stirring spoon while trying to electrocute a toaster. 6. The conspiracy theorists, but only about minor things. They don't believe the moon landing was faked, but they are convinced that the grocery store subtly rearranges the aisles every week to confuse you. It's all a plot by Big Cereal. 7. The dramatically underwhelmed. They react to everything with a level of disappointment usually reserved for discovering that Santa Claus isn't real. Fireworks? Meh, seen better. Winning the lottery? I suppose it's adequate. 8. The passive-aggressive philanthropist. They volunteer their time and energy to help others, while simultaneously making everyone feel guilty for not doing the same. Oh, you're relaxing on a Saturday? How nice. I'll just be over here feeding the homeless orphans. 9. The sleepy ninja. They can seemingly fall asleep anywhere, anytime. Always ready to nap, they have mastered the ability to doze off mid-sentence while standing up or at a rave. 10. The existential optimist. Acknowledge that the universe is cold and caring and ultimately meaningless, but still choose to be careful about it. We're all just insignificant specks of dust hurtling through the void. So let's have cake. This has been your Top 10 list. A new worldview. Okay, so back to this whole new way of seeing the world, right? It's not just about noticing the tiny universes and blades of grass or wondering if squirrels are secretly existentialists, although let's be honest, that's a fucking hilarious thought. It's about attention and how incredibly painfully hard it is to pay proper attention in a world that's constantly screaming for it. It's like try meditating for 5 minutes without your brain throwing a goddamn rave. Impossible. Think about it. We're bombarded relentlessly with data streams, with curated realities, with meticulously crafted distractions designed to exploit our dopamine receptors and keep us clicking, scrolling, consuming. It's like being trapped in an infinite loop of infomercials, each one promising to solve a problem you didn't even know you had until they told you about it. It's a relentless barrage of buy this shit. And the insidious thing is, this constant barrage numbs us. It deadens our ability to truly see, to connect, to experience the world in all its unvarnished, messy, complicated glory. We become, in effect, irony poisoned, cynical observers, trapped behind layers of self-awareness and forced detachment. We become afraid to be earnest, afraid to be vulnerable, afraid to admit that maybe, just maybe, we actually give a fuck about something. It's like admitting you care is the cultural equivalent of wearing Crocs. It's as if we've convinced ourselves that sincerity is a weakness, that being genuine and open and vulnerable is the equivalent of wearing a kick me sign on our backs. But what if, instead, being vulnerable is the only way to truly be alive? What if, instead of hiding behind our carefully crafted facades, we chose to be present, to be here, to be ourselves? Fuck the facade, right? This is the paradox at the heart of modern life. We're simultaneously overwhelmed and disconnected, simultaneously desperate for connection and terrified of being hurt. We're like ships passing in the night, each one too busy staring at its own navigation screen to notice the vast, uncharted seas around us. We're all just blindly sailing into the goddamn abyss. So, we try to fill the void with distractions. We scroll through our feeds, we binge watch our shows, we obsess over our likes and shares and followers. We're trying to escape, trying to flee from the crushing ennui that comes with realizing we're all just tiny, insignificant specks in an infinitely vast and indifferent universe. It's a futile attempt to plug the hole in our souls with more crap. But what if, instead of trying to escape, we chose to confront that void head on? What if we chose to be present, to be aware, to be ourselves in all of our messy, complicated, beautiful humanity? It's a scary thought, I know, but it's also kind of liberating. Fucking terrifying, but liberating. It means noticing the little things, the tiny moments that make up our days. It means being grateful for the sun, for the moon, for the air we breathe. It means being kind, really kind, to the people around us, even when they're hard to love. It means being human in all our awkward, vulnerable, magnificent glory. Basically, it means not being a total dick. It's a choice, really. A choice to be present, to be alive, to be ourselves. And it's a choice that requires us to confront our own fears, our own doubts, our own insecurities head on. But what if, instead of letting those fears consume us, we chose to use them as fuel for our growth, our own connection, our own existence? What if we turned that shit into fertilizer? If you like what you've heard here today, please consider subscribing for a new episode every week.
You know by now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. By now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat, it's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.